Hi there. Thank you so much for being here. It really means the world to me that you have found your way to my whimsical little corner of the world where I am carving out a community of wildly creative women who are determined to scale their impact through creative pursuits. And I'm so excited that you are here right now because odds are, if you are here right now, then you have already received my free gift to you, which is the Scale with Serenity business journal. I created this journal along with a whole bunch of Scale with Serenity products in order to help women that were going through something that honestly nearly killed me a few years ago. And that might sound dramatic, and I get that, but if you have ever felt deeply alone in your business, dealt with chronic health issues in your business, dealt with the pressures of having a lot of other people like friends and family that maybe depend on you financially, emotionally, in all kinds of ways, and that need you and your business to succeed. And then, hey, it's not just a business, right? Like, this is a creative based business, which means it's your heart and soul out on the line there all day, every day. And after a while, that gets to be a lot. So let me back it up a little bit and share just a little bit with you about my story and how I got to where I am now as a creative coach for freelancers that are ready to scale to sustainable long-term growth and real measurable transformations that are consistent. God forbid, consistent, right? And that kind of brings me to my point. So let's rewind a few years ago. Um, I actually started my first freelance business back in 2016 as a freelance content writer and copywriter. And I was lucky enough to have had a handful of years of experience throughout the real estate industry, really studying it from the inside out. So when I decided to launch my freelance copywriting and content business, full time, I knew right away what niche I was going to choose. And that is probably the first big major difference that happened for me and why I was able to find such immense success, really category queen levels of success within the real estate industry as far as a content producer really, really quickly back in 2016 because A, no one was serving that community in that way, and B, no one was talking to them in an honest way. So to be honest with you, back in 2016 when I launched my business as a newbie-ish freelance copywriter, I did not expect for it to go well. I didn't expect to win. For real, I actually expected to fail. I started that business because I believed I was going to fail. And because I had this story running in the back of my head, which had to do with the archetype that I am, and we'll go into archetypes too. But I had this story running in the back of my head about how this business was going to fail. And because that story was controlling my unconscious behaviors, in other words, my archetype, I was actually setting my business up for failure the whole way. Now, here's the crazy thing. I had clients from day frickin' one because I really did know what I was doing. I made lots of mistakes, don't get me wrong, not perfect. And over 8 years, I made probably thousands of mistakes, okay? Painful ones, expensive ones, all kinds of ones that I am going to expose and share with all of you so that you hopefully avoid some of the same pain. But along that way, the fact of the matter is, my demand pretty much only ever got higher from that beginning day when I landed a $6,000 client just hours after launching my Wix website. So, how the hell did I even manage to do that? And what happened to scaling? And why am I not in that business anymore? Well, like I said, I didn't believe that business was going to work. I didn't believe it would succeed. And when it had all kinds of demand that I wasn't really ready for, I also had to grapple with the fact that I had built an extremely profitable business that was not in alignment with what I wanted for me, for my life. It was not the people that I wanted to help. And listen, if you're anything like me and a lot of the people that I've worked with over the years, not just the creative women that I work with now, but even in the real estate industry, and I'm talking all the way up to the Fortune 500 guys, right? If you're anything like us, then you know firsthand how painful it can be to get to this point. If you're faking it until you make it, right? But then you make it quicker than you expected, you wake up and you wrestle with levels of imposter syndrome in the mirror that can be crippling. And before you know it, you find yourself in this weird little paradox where you've got all this demand coming in, but you didn't expect the business to work. So you didn't systemize it. You didn't pour a proper foundation. You probably don't even have a business plan, right? And you don't have a team in place and stuff. And so you're just constantly trying to put out little fires everywhere, right? And you've got this demand coming in, and that's exciting. And there's money in the bank, and that's exciting. But then we kind of start to plateau. And when we have 1/2 of a second to catch our breath and realize, oh no, this is not what I wanted, that's when the real crisis starts to kick in. And that's when so many of my clients find me, because that was when the darkness really set in for me. When I spent years building what became a really successful real estate media company, and then had to wake up one day to realize I not only hated the company, but a lot of the clients that I was working with, because frankly, I had reached a point of success where the only people that could afford to work with me, a lot of them were narcissists, frankly, and some of them weren't great people. Some of them were incredible. And I loved them, and I will always love those people dearly. And some of them I still work with and am still in business partnerships with today. But all of that being said, the fact of the matter is I was burnt all the way out. I was burnt all the way out. And at that time, I was suddenly with my now husband. And in the first few years of my business, while I was single, it was no problem that I was such a workaholic. It was no problem launching this startup 80-hour weeks, 100-hour weeks, 110-hour weeks, especially for a New Yorker. I know how to hustle, right? However, what I didn't know how to do was have balance. What I didn't know how to do was have anything else real in my life other than my business. What I didn't know how to do was to not use my business as an escape mechanism. I didn't know how to not treat my business like my baby. I didn't know how to secure clients that would not become codependent. I didn't know I was codependent with a lot of my clients. And I went through one hell of a crisis. One hell of a crisis that took me years to dig myself out of. But through all of that pain and through that journey, I was able to find new, incredible bodies of research, which the research is old. The research has been there, but it was new to me. And I went down all kinds of rabbit holes of anthropology and psychology, in particular Jungian psychology, which looks at the archetypes, or the unconscious behavioral patterns that exist within all human beings. And it's those unconscious behavioral patterns that reveal to us why we do the things we do. Because if you're anything like me and you're working in a B2B space, right, with clients who are very anxious to make more money or get something out of their investment with you very quickly, right, you find yourself often in this trap where, let's say, for example, you're a copywriter and a client comes to you and they say, "Hey, I want to start getting leads on social media. I'm a business coach." But that business coach doesn't have a niche. You don't know how to target the copy because they don't have an audience for you. So you go to them and you say, "Hey, well, I need you to tell me who the audience is." And they say, "Well, I don't know. I need clients." And then you start to find yourself going increasingly down these rabbit holes where you become a full-time marketing consultant, sometimes even full-fledged creative director for these people in discovery calls, not to mention doing hours and hours and hours of free consulting on the back end just to sell and provide and nurture with your services. And you become increasingly burned out, increasingly exhausted, increasingly frustrated that your clients don't understand how to get the most out of what you're providing them because they don't understand the products to begin with, because they don't understand marketing. And it all becomes this whole big, huge, frustrating headache, right? But the phone's still ringing. There's still probably some orders due. And soon all of this starts to build up in your head and it becomes really overwhelming. And you start to say to yourself, you know what? Those other guys out there, those other girls out there that are talking about these 6 and 7 figure lifestyles, they're full of shit. It's not true. It can't be real. It's not sustainable. After a certain amount of clients, it's not possible. I'm here to tell you it is possible. What it is not possible is doing it the way that you think that they're doing it because they've been selling you some bullshit facade about how they do it and what it feels like when they do it and what it looks like and all the trappings and ornaments of success. And they're bullshit. Okay? Total bullshit. In fact, how you define success is ultimately actually going to depend on that archetype of yours. And so if you are serious about taking your business seriously, if you're serious about scaling it to its fullest potential, whatever that might be, it could be low ticket clients, mid ticket, high ticket, thousands of them, 10, 4. If you are serious about scaling your impact and scaling your business in a way that feels good and is healthy, not just for you, but for the clients, but also isn't the all end all consuming entity that is your life, because you want balance and you want time freedom and you want to be able to be present in the moments that you're not at work and all those other good things, it's absolutely possible. You just have to get to know yourself on a deeper level. And using the archetypes, we can do that. But we can go into all of the archetypes and what they mean and what they have to say about who we are and how we behave and why on another day. For now, I just wanted to say thank you so much for downloading this journal. I think that you are going to have incredible transformations just in the weeks of reflections that are included within this journal. Lots of different ways to use it. And I love watching how my students incorporate each one of these journals and planners into their lives and their businesses in all different ways. So please don't be shy. Feel free to pop into the Wildly Creative Women Facebook group community, which is totally free and wide open and waiting for women like you who are serious about being creative and serious about being silly and serious about sisterhood and whimsy and wanderlust and all the good things that come with building a meaningful business around your creations. We're waiting for you in there, sister. We can't wait to meet you. We can't wait to see what it is that you create. And we can't wait to scale together with you in Serenity. Enjoy the journal. Thank you for being there, and make sure you hit that subscribe and that little beautiful bell so that you can get a notification every time I pop in here with more over the shoulder trainings, live thoughts, downloads, free gifts, Easter eggs. Yes, I love to surprise my subscribers with all kinds of free gifts and all kinds of free ways, giveaways, contests, courses, challenges, and more. And yes, a lot of times I like to drop premium high ticket stuff for just a very flash few hours. So make sure you do hit that bell and that subscribe button so you can be here for each and every drop. I'll see you soon, and happy journaling.